impressive because you can tell that they've really got a yearning desire to improve themselves and they're positioned, to take care of them and their family.
I mean, going from mucking up on stage on a debate team at school to being able to stand in front of that many as to how big that show is, and people do attend and the rooms are packed. That is huge. I mean, yes, I know it's taken a while, and apologies for the dog barking. I know it's taken a while, but to have accomplished that is, it's
and practice. It's my experience. Practice does not make perfect, but I generally keep saying, sure, I'll do it every time I get asked to do something, because it's a good challenge, right? And a lot of times, especially at my age, I find myself doing things that I've done many times over. So my day-to-day work at my desk might not be that exciting. So I enjoy the adrenaline and challenge professionally of trying to see if I can do better the next time it's something that I did the time before.
And of course, public speaking is, people listening in, but public speaking is scary.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think there's that real thing of there's that understandable anxiety, actually, isn't there?
I think with public speaking, I know for myself, it's always, I'm gonna fuck up, and they're all gonna be judging me, and oh my god, and they're all gonna be thinking that I'm this, that, and the other. Where actually, everyone watching wants you to do really well.
It's true. Yeah, they're rooting for you, they're voting for you, they want you to be, to be okay, don't they? But I guess I'm just wondering, is there anything I'm just thinking about kind of anyone listening, if they've got something coming up, which they might have to do some public speaking about, is there anything in particular you might do in breath work or anything you do that you find help?
Be careful. So for me, very basic things. I spend a lot of time in the bathroom before public speaking events. But, I would, just watch that the foods that I'm eating are, bland or safe, or, stuff that's not super out there. And that I'm not eating too much, that I'm not eating too little, try to get just enough caffeine.
When you said pausing on stage for a minute was the worst thing that could happen, the first thing that came into my head was, no, you could shit yourself.
But, mostly what I try to do is I just try to get my headspace in a really zen spot, like as much as I can, for whatever that means to me, just to say affirmations in my own head, like, it's going to be all right, it's going to be okay, I've gotten better at this, if I make a mistake, it's okay, they're people, they're just like me, everybody here is trying, and at the end of the day, if I goof up, it's not going to give me any less friends or potential for business in the audience. But I would say, very important, because I'm a procrastinator sometimes, but I would say one of the things that everyone should do if they're going to be engaged in some kind of more serious public speaking is do prepare. So for me, for example, I've always found it easy to be a panelist on a panel, because somebody else is guiding the conversation and they're asking questions, and generally speaking, you're only answering when you have something to offer, the information, or you're passionate about something. I have always found that it is much more challenging to moderate a conversation, especially when it's with lots of different people, because if the moderator doesn't know what they're doing, or they don't have a good list of questions, or they don't have panelists that are maybe sharing enough, then you can end up having more time than you do have questions, and then there's that awkward, does the audience have any questions? So my advice is, basically take some notes. In any situation like that, I find that if I've got 10 or 15 questions in the bag, that I can just keep asking questions. That'll keep things moving along, or to do a little bit of prep work. That's a good thing. So I did have an interesting thought this morning that I wanted to share, and it was almost ironic. So I found that now my experience is that I'm super comfortable at adult events, but when I go out in what I call the real world to meet mainstream people, it does actually make me very nervous to start new conversations and talk to groups of people. I had this experience just the other week. I was, of course, I'm not going out very much, but trying to be a little bit social, to maybe get out for a dinner or to dinner and a drink once or twice a week. And I had seen a friend post on Facebook something about like a political fundraiser, and I just immediately posted like, I'll be there because why not? And that does get me out of the box. And so even when I was in my closet, like you mentioned, Leah, like, oh, Brad, you've got all those fabulous jackets, because I do wear some shiny and some unusual things. But I remember having that moment in my closet, like, okay, where do I want to fall on the spectrum of standing out? So I picked one of my more tame coats, which still elicited 5 or 6 or 7 comments. But when I showed up, it was at an event with like lawyers and judges and someone that was running for the county's prosecutor. But it's interesting because even through all these other experiences, I think there might still be a little voice that I struggle with in my head that, comparatively, so even while I might be comfortable in an adult circumstance with people that are somehow industry related, whether they're performers or business people, I still do have those moments of anxiety in meeting people when it's outside of my sphere of influence and comfort zone. Because I'm very comfortable now after all these 20 years in that space, but there's still the voice of a child in my head, I think, when I'm out amongst the general population. So
it makes sense when you're out your comfort zone. I know, I appreciate that.
I don't know why I've got the thing of frogs in my head now, but it's jumping into a different, so I apologise, but it's like jumping into a different pond, isn't it? It's kind of, that kind of, not that we're the frogs, but it's just, it's that kind of the comfort zone of know that area, the adult industry, that is your, extended family, etc., etc.
I always worry that I'm going to say something inappropriate when I'm around non-adult industry folk.
We're always worried for you too, Leah.
We share that worry.
But, again, I think it's generally the case when we're our most authentic selves that's when we're at our best. And, for those out there in the world that can't enjoy us just the way that we are, they're probably not meant to have a big part in our life. So.
Very true. Thank you for that.
Yeah, beautifully succinct and lovely. Yeah.
So it's my goal someday that if I'm ever not doing this, I'd like to speak more or write a book or help maybe do some business mentoring or some coaching, because I find that I get a lot of fulfillment out of teaching people stuff. It's one thing to have a job and a career and do okay financially, but as I've gotten older, I really appreciate more the things that I do that fill up my soul, that make me feel good. And I've identified that sharing my experiences is one of those things that seems like it's good for me, and sometimes other people get some stuff out of that too.
No, I would definitely agree with that, because you certainly have helped financial support become what it is. And,
it's been my pleasure.
And everything, yeah.
On the subject of anxiety and stress, I struggle a little bit with my kids. So I've got 3 teenagers, and two of them have actually pretty bad anxiety. And I find that in a general sense, so not social situations, but just generally, so that's something that I'm perhaps less experienced with, but I've been trying to parent through some of that. And at the same time, I have my own moments of anxiety, but I find that usually it's a few times a year. It's just when the weight of the world just seems too much. And so I guess
thing we could be doing, just thinking, I know we haven't got many more time today, but it's actually just to think about sort of, supporting children with anxiety, isn't it, in another show?
That would be very interesting to talk about and discuss.
Yeah.
I know it's Shelley's main area of expertise is
child psychotherapy and adult psychotherapy, but so I work a lot with children experiencing anxiety, but also their parents, of course. I meet the parents as well as the children and the teenagers. So it's a huge, layer cake to work through, but it's great to work with families, and it'd be good to perhaps do another show at some point.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up because we're running out of time, and you can hear the dogs howling in the background.
For dinner.
They've let them sleep.
So they can't open the tin.
Yes. So it's about to get very, very rowdy. But thank you so much for talking with us today, Brad. It's massively appreciated. And
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And as always, if you'd like to find out more information about Pineapple Support, you can visit the website pineapplesupport.org. And thank you very, very much for listening, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Brad. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah.